serikali na kwa bei nafuu. Wiki hii kwenye Project 254.
The Kenya we want is one in which no Kenyan should leave the country so as to receive the medical care they require.
Kila mtu amefahamu kuna linda mama na anakuja hospitalini na anasaidika hapa. Ikiwa ni operation ni bure. Ikiwa atazaa mwenyewe pia ni bure.
Hakuna mtu anafaa kukosa kupata huduma ya afya akienda kwa hospitali ya serikali.
If Peter was sitting next to you right now, what would you say to him?
Our plan is in motion as of tonight.
No, I must fire.
Are you out of your mind?
You are one strong man. You are feeling okay?
Amen.
Where are you right now?
I'm the only person who doesn't want to see your plans going south.
Think about what I just said.
Think about what?
It's none of your business.
Perfecto.
What's perfect?
It's none of your business.
My name is Dorothy Lowakto, and I'm a wildlife warrior. Working for elephants is the most special thing and very beautiful.
This is the first community-run elephant orphanage in Africa.
They will not make in life if they are not with their families. We get them and rehabilitate them instead of leaving them to suffer in the wild.
This is Wildlife Warriors, and I'm Paula Kahumbu.
Welcome to Self-Care Tips. I am Irene Joroge, and today we're going to look at nutrition and getting your proportions right. Your well-balanced diet should include vegetables, which should usually be 50% of your plate. You can choose greens of all types, salads, and remember, raw vegetables always produce the best results in your body because the vitamins have not been tampered with. And then next is your protein. Your protein content should comprise at least 30% of your plate. Your meat, your proteins, whatever meat you decide to use, whether it's fish, chicken, or even beef or mutton. But mutton is fatty, so use less of it. Remember, vegetables and proteins provide you with a lot of vitamins, minerals, and protein, of course, is a bodybuilder. Part of your vegetables should also include lentils. This adds a lot of nutrition. It gives a punch to your food. It gives that good taste. If you don't have meat, you can always substitute with beans or other lentils, which are rich in protein, and they will give you that balanced requirement for your nutrition. And then now we come to the carbs, which should actually be only 20%. It's good to choose your carbs. You can either have chapati, brown chapati, or your rice. And of course, 20%, we're talking of very little. It's just gives a small portion of your carbohydrates. And this will ensure that you remain healthy and your health will be okay. You have your healthy eating plan. So this is an example of a good, well-balanced plate. And then, of course, add things like fruits, water, and other additions. This has been Self-Care Tips on Healthy Eating.
My name is Muhammad Ahmed Muhammad, the CEO of Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation, popularly known as KDIC. The corporation recently increased the protected sum from the previous 100,000 shillings to 500,000 shillings per account. This is the highest in sub-Saharan Africa. In effect, the corporation now covers 99% of the depositors in the unlikely event of a closure of a bank. So KDIC encourages the depositors to continue doing business with our banks that are strong and resilient.
Be sure, check out for a KDIC sticker in your banking hall. KDIC, protecting your deposits.
A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for creating time to join us on Prime Edition tonight as we usher in a new and the last month of the year 2021. December it is, and of course today we mark the World AIDS Day. Some good news we got for you. Our country making great progress in the war against HIV and AIDS. We got details about the numbers as they were explained by President Uhuru Kenyatta as he led the country marking this year's World AIDS Day, plus much more that our news team has been working on for you, contained in our comprehensive news bulletin that begins right now. But first, here are the top stories. Coming of age, Nakuru granted city status. Count me out. IEBC boss says no to inclusion in multi-agency committee on elections. And the man with 9 lives, Isaac Mwaura, back in the Senate. Byron Abuli is our sign language interpreter. My name is Serfine Achieng Oma. John Jacob Kioria is not with us tonight. He's away on assignment. But a little bit later on, Caroline Jenga will be joining me for the latest in the world of business. So do stay with us as we kickstart this bulletin. Now, Nakuru town has officially been unveiled as Kenya's fourth city in a colorful ceremony officiated by President Uhuru Kenyatta. The unveiling of Nakuru city is the culmination of a lengthy legislative process. It is also the beginning of yet another social and economic journey for the headquarters of the defunct Rift Valley province. Let's get that report.
Tuko town ya Nakuru tena, tuko kwa city ya Nakuru.
As a city. From a town to a city, Nakuru has joined the League of Kenya's biggest cosmopolitan urban centers with the instrument of a city status. In a politically charged ceremony, President Kenyatta handed Nakuru its new status, making it Kenya's fourth city.
Na city inakujanga na mambo mengi. City inahakikisha ya kwamba biashara, it becomes attractive to do business. Na watu wanakuja, wanapanga factory zao na mambo mengine mengi. Si kazi inatokana na hiyo mafactory jameni.
President Kenyatta using the occasion to remind Kenyans on the need to foster good relations and work towards building stronger alliances for the sake of peace and stability.
You can never achieve the objectives and pledges and promises that you make when you are seeking for that vote if there is no peace. Na kesho yake hawa wananchi ambao walikupatia kura ndio kesho watakunyima. Ukikuja waambie huyu ni mzee hafai, tunataka kijana, sijui huyu ni ako namna hii, huyu ako namna hii, huyu ako namna ile. Mtu anachagua na bongo bana, mtu achagui na
In 2007, Nakuru County was at the heart of a bitter political upheaval ignited by a disputed election.
Na inasemekana Nakuru ikichomeka, Kenya imechomeka. Lakini Nakuru ikitulia, Kenya imetulia. Na ndipo tukiwapatia city, tuasema tunataka iwe city ambapo amani ya Kenya itaanzia na kusambaa katika kila kona ya taifa letu la Kenya.
Nakuru boasts of premium tourist attraction sites, and Monday's elevation is expected to go a long way in improving the livelihoods of those determined to make it a big city.
Nakuru is attracting industries, but we want Nakuru to continue to attract more industries as we promote value addition to goods which are produced in our country, so that we can be able to build our country. That's why we these days are promoting Buy Kenya, Build Kenya.
From a mere proposal to finally getting the elevation to a city status, Nakuru now joins Nairobi, Kisumu and Mombasa to that level. But that comes with the responsibility of ensuring that the over 40 communities living in Nakuru County coexist before and after the 2022 general elections. Reporting for Channel 1 News from the Nakuru city, my name is Gladys Mongai.
Indeed, thank you, Gladys, coming to us from Nakuru City. Let's stay in that particular city for a little bit. President Uhuru Kenyatta says Kenya has made tremendous progress in slowing down the spread of HIV/AIDS in the recent years, citing a decrease in the infection rate by 68.4% between 2013 and this year. Within the same period, the president said deaths attributed to HIV and AIDS have dropped by 67% from 58,446 in 2013 and 19,486 this year. The president spoke on Wednesday in Nakuru County when he led the nation in marking this year's World AIDS Day.
The head of state attributed the positive indicators to the growing government investment in the diagnosis, prevention and management of HIV/AIDS and related illnesses, while directing the Ministries of Health and National Treasury to ensure that the country is adequately stocked with HIV management and prevention commodities. The president assured that the government will continue doing everything possible to defeat the disease.
Na sisi zote tuungane pamoja na tuhakikishe ya kwamba tumemaliza ukimwi katika taifa letu na tumalize maugonjwa haya ambaye inaleta madhara kwa watoto wetu.
The president decried the rising cases of teenage pregnancies in the country, saying the sad state of affairs was undermining the country's socio-economic transformation agenda and the progress made towards ending HIV/AIDS as a public health threat. Nakuru Governor Lee Kinyanjui echoed the president's concern on the rising cases of teenage pregnancies in the country, saying the situation was fueling the rising cases of HIV infections among adolescents.
We kama mzee ambaye unataka kuwa na heshima na unatembea na mtoto ambaye ni mdogo hata kushinda your own daughter, mdogo kushinda ule we umezaa, alafu ujiite mwanaume. We ni mwanaume wa saa ngapi bwana?
In the last 1 year, teenage pregnancies of ages between 10 and 14 who have attended our antenatal clinics were 231. And out of these, 12,488 were aged between 15 and 19 years. Your Excellency, this scenario is unacceptable.
Dignity Kids Park.
Meanwhile, the Nairobi Metropolitan Services Director General Muhammad Badi has called on relevant stakeholders to play their part in fighting HIV/AIDS.
We know how to beat AIDS. We know what gaps are obstructing progress are and how to tackle them. These policies to address inequalities can be implemented, but they require every leaders to be bold.
Yusufar reporting for Prime Edition.
Now, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission says it will not be party to the National Multi-Sectorial Consultative Forum on Election Preparedness. The Commission, which withdrew from the panel on grounds that its independence is being compromised, says it will not be coerced into abdicating their mandate to a body not recognized in law. IEBC, however, says it will engage the agencies through already existing mechanisms that are pegged on the law to ensure the success of the 2022 general election.
In a virtual meeting with the Senate Justice and Legal Affairs Committee to outline its preparedness, IEBC was categorical that it is not in any way reconsidering its decision to pull out of the multi-agency forum on election preparedness.
Are you likely to reconsider rejoining that forum? What will be the view of the Commission in view of the comments we have seen from the various stakeholders?
As a Commission, we are not going to report on our mandate to another agency, but we are ready and we are working with other agencies to ensure success of the 2022 general elections.
IEBC emphasizing on its reasons for withdrawal, saying it will not allow its mandate as bestowed on them by Kenyans to be compromised.
The TORs which were given to us clearly take away the mandate of the Commission insofar as Article 884 is concerned, where now we have to report to our team on what we do.
According to IEBC, there are already existing mechanisms in which the Commission can still engage the agencies and do not need to be managed by a multi-agency.
We have the ESAP, we have the Judicial Committee on Elections, we have arrangements with the Director of Public Prosecution. There's already a desk at the ODPP for election offenses. So all these arrangements will go on, and it doesn't have to be managed by a multi-agency task force, which is, we say, is not grounded in law.
The Commission promising to engage the Commission on University Education to identify aspirants who present fake academic documents. Aspirants seeking to contest the 2022 election will not be allowed to participate in fundraisers from December 9th to term voter bribery. Kamche Menza for Prime Edition.
Now, still focusing on the electoral body, the High Court has expunged a petition seeking to bar the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission chairperson Wafula Chebukati from presiding over the 2022 general election. Samuel Elijah had sought to have Chebukati blocked from conducting the exercise for violating the Constitution and for alleged election malpractices in the 2017 elections. However, Lady Justice Hedwig Ongundi ruled that the court lacked authority to eject the IEBC boss from office.
IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati has survived an ouster petition by a voter who wanted to stop him from conducting the 2022 general elections. The court directed the petitioner to follow the proper procedure for removing Chebukati by presenting a petition to the National Assembly with alleged facts to trigger his removal as per the Constitution. The petition had argued that the electoral body had eroded confidence after an alleged botched presidential election in 2017, claiming IEBC was ill-prepared for another election. The petitioner had also claimed IEBC was not forthcoming with the election budget. For Prime Edition, I'm Ben Troy Njue.
Now, rare incident in Kisii County. A 19-year-old mother in Kisii town has delivered a rare set of conjoined twins. Doctors say the female twins, each weighing 4.6 kilograms, were born in stable condition but were later transferred to Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital. The twins require specialized surgery to separate them to enable them live a normal life.
According to the twins' mother, Lynette Magati, who delivered the babies through a cesarean section, was not aware she was carrying twins until a pregnancy scan confirmed the news.
Alifanyiwa scanning, akaambiwa nimepepa mapacha. Alifanyiwa hiyo scanning, wakamaliza, akapelekwa theater. Aliweza kufanyiwa operation.
The parents say no complications were experienced during pregnancy. Dr. Evans Monda, a gynecologist at the Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital, confirmed the twins were in their unit awaiting transfer to Kenyatta National Hospital for specialized surgery.
We have them in our baby unit and the children are doing well as of now. We have also arranged to transport and refer the children to Kenyatta National Hospital where they'll be seen by the pediatricians who are surgeons there.
Obstetrician consultants explained the separation of conjoined twins depended on whether they had owned distinct organs or shared some. The parents, who are casual laborers, are appealing for financial assistance to aid in the impending surgical procedure.
So mimi naomba Wakenya wenye wananiangalia wananiona kama wako na uwezo wa kunisaidia watanisaidia. Juu sina kitu kabisa. Tufanye kazi ni kwaso tu. Mama anakaa kwa nyumba. Mimi ndio natoka tu na aso lakini kupata tuunga.
Yusuf Hilo, Prime Edition.
Thank you, Yusuf, for that report. We hope that the twins will get help soon so that they can live a normal life, that they're successfully separated and they can live a normal life. And now, moving on to other stories. Embattled Senator Isaac Mwaura Maigua has been readmitted to the Senate. Senate Speaker Kenneth Lusaka on Wednesday morning session announced that Mwaura remains a senator in accordance with the Constitution and the Senate standing orders. Mwaura was saved by the High Court after he had been kicked out of the Jubilee Party. Let's get that report.
Out of the Senate chambers for close to 7 months, nominated senator representing people living with a disability, Isaac Mwaura, Wednesday morning made a comeback. Senate Speaker Kenneth Lusaka, while readmitting Mwaura, said he was only doing due diligence following the High Court ruling.
Senator Dr. Isaac Mwaura Maigua exercised his constitutional right to appeal against the decision of the political parties disputes tribunal, and a verdict has been delivered by the High Court. I therefore direct that Senator Dr. Isaac Mwaura Maigua, CBS MP, remains a senator in accordance with the Constitution of Kenya and the Senate standing order.
Members hailing the judiciary, saying it had demonstrated that it was indeed the defender of the rights of the oppressed.
I am very happy and content with the legal logic that the court used to acquit Senator Mwaura, namely the principle of non-discrimination.
We may have disagreed on other things in the past, but on this one you got it very right, Mr. Speaker. You got it extremely right. And if you had not obeyed the initial court order, we would not be here today discussing this particular court order, because it would have been extremely difficult for Senator Mwaura to get back his rights.
And I want to thank the judiciary for being independent and expressing their minds independently. Otherwise, if they could be following the powers of the political parties I think Mwaura could not be here.
Because, sometimes people, when they look at court orders, they support the court when the order is in favor of a particular individual. But when it is against you, you accuse the court. So I think sometimes it's a question of double standards. But I can say for our speaker, I think you have consistently held the position that the court orders are for obedience.
Mwaura attributing his tribulation to divergent of opinion, which he said should be a basis to punish him.
My being in the Senate today is unlikely. Unlikely because it has never happened in the history of the Republic that a seat can be declared vacant, a replacement gazetted, yet a reinstatement is occasioned by a court ruling. This is a novelty, indeed a landmark ruling that sets precedents.
Mwaura had been delisted from the Jubilee members list and replaced with Sami Prisa Leshore.
All right, until that note, we want to take a short break, but don't go too far. When we come back, we will be crossing over to what is happening in other counties, plus business and sports still lined up for you, so do stay with us.
Mimi nataka kuwatangazia majina ya wananchi watukufu ambao watakuwa ministers wa serikali yetu tukufu ambayo tunakwisha ianzisha, na vile vile assistant ministers ambao watafanya kazi chini yao. Honorable T.D. Arap Moi, Vice President and Home Affairs. Honorable Mwai Kibaki, Minister of Finance and Planning. Honorable Paul Ngei, wa local government. Honorable Bio Koinange, Minister of State, Office of the President.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email newsroom@kbc.co.ke, call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Serikali ya Rais Uhuru Kenyatta imetekeleza miradi mbalimbali kwenye sekta ya afya kuhakikisha Wakenya wanapata huduma bora za afya na kwa bei nafuu. Wiki hii kwenye Project 254.
The Kenya we want is one in which no Kenyan should leave the country so as to receive the medical care they require.
Kila mtu amefahamu kuna linda mama na anakuja hospitalini na anasaidika hapa. Ikiwa ni operation ni bure, ikiwa atazaa mwenyewe pia ni bure.
Hakuna mtu anafaa kukosa kupata huduma ya afya akienda kwa hospitali ya serikali.
Welcome back. Now let's get more stories. The Ministry of Information and Communication is pushing for the establishment of a regulatory body to police public relations and communication officers in both private and public sectors. Broadcasting and Telecommunication Principal Secretary Esther Koimet says the enactment of the Institute of Public Relations and Communication Management Bill will streamline the sector and create standard procedures. Let's get the details of those stories from the coastal region.
Over 400 public relations and communication practitioners are in Mombasa attending the Public Relations Society of Kenya PRSK annual summit and to also celebrate 50 years of establishment. PRSK President Wilfred Marube outlining the milestone covered so far, but laments that the society needs more recognition.
People need to appreciate that public relations is much more than spinning, it's much more than manipulation of facts, it's much more of reputation management, it's much more of stakeholder engagement.
Marube noted the newly launched certification program will provide an informative environment for practitioners to refresh their skills in line with changing global trends.
The certification means that you get a stamp of approval authority. You have excellence in terms of execution of the PR role. So what we see as is strengthening of the profession in Kenya, not just within public sector, but also within private sector.
Some may not actually have the root of a PR because they didn't study the PR profession, and so we need to find a mechanism to upskill everybody, especially as we go into this digital age, into this where information is fast and you need to be able to manage.
Broadcasting and Telecommunication Principal Secretary Esther Koimet was the chief guest at the summit, says the Ministry of ICT is pushing to transform the society to a self-regulatory body through the enactment of the Institute of Public Relations and Communication Management Bill.
First of all, to create, to move it from just being a society to being an institute that is self-regulating, that is professional, that is recognized, that can then help the professionals in the sector to grow in their careers and to have a framework under which they are recognized.
Koimet challenging the practitioners to stay true to their calling by offering factual information and debunking propaganda.
We all need to recognize that we have a country, and what we do, what we say, how we say it can inflame passions, especially in a season of high passions like the political season that we are heading into. And as Kenyans, you know, we love politics. So what we want professions across the board, whether it be in government or even in the private sector, that they are factual, that they uphold ethics, that they ensure that we debunk any false narrative that may come through, and just keep the country together.
Juni Karisa Mbele for the Prime Edition from Mombasa County.
Now, the country has so far vaccinated over 7.1 million people against COVID-19. According to the Ministry of Health, 4.4 million people have been partially immunized, while over 2.7 million have received both doses. In the last 24 hours, 76 people have tested positive for the virus from 4,853 samples screened, indicating a positivity rate of 1.6%. No fatalities were reported in the same period, and the number of deaths associated with the virus remain 5,335. Globally, statistics from the Johns Hopkins University indicate that over 263 million people have been infected, while over 5.2 million have died. Now into the world of politics, Deputy President William Ruto has defended the Jubilee government's track record, saying though it was hijacked midstream, a lot has been achieved. Ruto, who was in Machakos County to advocate for his bottom-up economic model, said he is the best placed candidate to pick up from where President Uhuru Kenyatta left, as he understands the key programs required to move Kenya forward.
Deputy President William Ruto on Wednesday took his bottom-up economic model agenda to Kaloleni and Mutituni in Machakos County, urging locals to join his quest for a better Kenya.
Sitima tumetoa 60,000 mpaka 200,000. Si hata technical training college tumejenga ine hapa Machakos. Sasa mimi nauliza nyinyi, hiyo kazi yote mimi kama Deputy President I can account for.
The DP said the country is unlikely to develop, with a large population being enlisted in CRB, promising to ease the cost of doing business with interest-free loans for SMEs. Ruto saying his government will help farmers to reap benefits of their hard work by eliminating brokers and cartels who reap from where they have not sowed.
We will remove the curse of poverty on Kenyans that is visited upon them by matters to do with medical bills. every Kenyan. It will be compulsory for every Kenyan, and we will make sure that everybody pays their equal share.
Legislators who accompanied him urging locals not to be left out of the winning team.
Sisi Wakamba tutafuata William Samoei Ruto. Tumeamua. Wachako si mmeamua? Umeamua kweli? Ama mko tayari kupangwa? Mmejipanga?
Ruth Wamboi for Prime Edition.
Now, former Vice President and Kenya's Special Envoy to South Sudan, Kalonzo Musyoka, has called on the East African community to consider supporting the South Sudan peace process as a region. Speaking at a meeting on the South Sudan peace process in Uganda, Kalonzo said South Sudan, Ethiopia and Sudan play a critical role in the East African community and the IGAD. He said as such, the international community should reconsider its approach in financing projects in South Sudan.
And even within the framework of the discussions around Chapter 2, necessary unified forces, listening to Okello there, I was actually amazed that we are still talking about screening and cantonment and screening and cantonment. I think we need to move the process forward. It behoves the government side to begin to move the process of removal of sanctions. Kenya is a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council, and thanks to the support from the region. And I think we can all work together because there must be a formal approach to this thing. So we move from talking about remove sanctions to saying we are making a formal approach to this thing. This is demonstrably what we've been able to achieve, so that we can also then move even that matter forward. And with it, and I would like to say there can be a separation between the sanctions regime problems with the unification.
Meanwhile, Paul Njuki Murage, the man suspected of killing his wife and 4 children, has been remanded for 14 days to allow police conclude investigation into the incident. Gishugu Law Court's Principal Magistrate Leah Kaberia ordered Murage be detained before he is formally charged for the alleged crime. Police had asked the court to allow them more time to record statements from witnesses and search for the murder weapon that the suspect says he threw into a river. Principal Magistrate Leah Kaberia asked the police to accord the suspect enough protection to save him from members of the public who are baying for his blood. And that report takes us to our second break on Prime Edition tonight. When we come back, the business news with Caroline Jenga. Don't go too far.
Ili kupata sikiza tuni hii ya usifadhaishwe, bonyeza star 811 star 961 hash.
Usifadhaishwe na mafanikio ya wengine ukihisi kwamba maisha yako hayana maana. Kumbuka, wengi huzungumzia tu mafanikio yao na si changamoto walizozipitia na ni mara ngapi walianguka. Tia bidii, muda wako utafika.
Ili kupata sikiza tuni hii ya usifadhaishwe, bonyeza star 811 star 961 hash.
Hivi vituko vyako na lugha ambazo sielewi, mimi sitaki kwa nyumba yangu.
Nenda kamwambia hivi kuwa Badi amesema hakuna kitu atapata.
Si umpigie simu tu umwambie. What kind of nonsense is this?
Atakuvurusha kama mnyama.
And this is going to be a very long day.
Niko musoketi. Nilijua tu
Badi.
Huyu mwanamke hataki tuishi kwa amani.
Welcome back. We take a look at the latest in the world of business this Wednesday. My name is Carol Jenga. Now, senators say the slow pace of land acquisition for key government projects is inflating costs and eroding investors' confidence. This emerged during debate of the President's State of the Nation address, where senators and members of the National Assembly also raised concerns about high cost of electricity and fuel.
Madam Speaker, Article 40 of the Constitution has not been followed on prompt and full compensation for road for private property taken for public use. Madam Speaker, I want to continue to appeal to the government through the President that these pubs should be compensated. The land that has been taken from them to construct that road, they should be paid back that money. And it's not just in Kitui, it is also in other areas.
Consider lowering the cost of energy in this country and petroleum, because that is the basis of encouraging the industrialization in this country, so that when the industries comes, automatically it will generate employment for our youths. So I call upon that the energy sector and the petroleum be considered by the President and more so that it creates more industrialization or industries in our country, which will really give employment to the youths.
This country must be bequeathed to our future generation intact and leave it without destroying the social fabric of this nation. So for this country to realize meaningful economic growth, that must come from engineering and spurring the rural economy. That is where there is potential. The biggest potential in terms of productivity in this country is in the rural areas. It is not in the usual traditional urban settings.
I've seen in the last few years the price of tea and coffee has now started to go up. Reasons because of the structural changes that have been made, and to ensure that the farmer becomes very paramount, and to ensure that we can even be able to expand our buckets. And for this, we now see coffee almost at 100 shillings, and in some areas even more. Tea is already doing over 60% of what we were earning in the last few years, where it was declining.
Or having listened to his speech, I found that the livestock industry was not sufficiently addressed, bearing in mind the ravaging drought that is affecting the pastoralist-dominated areas.
Increased budgetary support or allocation, infrastructure development and investment are some of the low-hanging fruits for the newly conferred Nakuru City. Now, CPA David Kingo, a financial expert, says owing to the elevated status, Nakuru's business tourism niche is among sectors that will likely record increased sales and earnings driven by government spending in conferences as well as private sector investment. Our reporter Regina Manyara breaks down the expected multiplier effect of the conferment of the city status of Nakuru town.
Nakuru's elevation process to a city status began in 2018, powered by the Urban Areas and Cities Act that provides for classification, governance and management of urban areas and cities.
The economic nature of that particular town, and of course it comes with the related economic benefit, because it has to match the capacity of, for example, Mombasa and Kisumu, and that of course calls for a lot of resource allocations and new opportunities coming up that will translate into business activities and will end up into improvement the economic status of that city.
Since then, the county government of Nakuru has been working on meeting the requirements of a city status to be granted to a town, especially on efficiency in service delivery and safety of residents. Conferment of city status to Nakuru makes it the fourth city in the country after Nairobi, Mombasa and Kisumu. This elevation comes with good tidings, among them increased budgetary allocation and infrastructural development.
The government need to allocate more resources or revenue to expand the road network that's already existing, because of the movement of people. The road networks might include, or even the movement of people might include both trains and road networks. Also, we can have donors increasing the amount of funding. Basically, they fund to that particular area, because the needs will now increase even now.
Financial expert David Kingo says this will likely spur an increase in population and ultimately higher demand for goods and services, making Nakuru a formidable business frontier.
And especially the infrastructure such as the road and even getting a
Players in the hospitality value chain are optimistic that both government spending on conferences as well as private sector investment will spur the MICE subsector. The conferment comes months after the Senate approved the application for the town's upgrade. Regina Manya reporting for Prime Edition.
Now to the tea sector, tea prices have risen by 53% in the last 4 months due to the initial monthly pay per kilo of green leaf due to various reforms instituted by the government. The Kenya Tea Development Authority says it's paying 21 shillings per kilo of the green leaf, up from 16 shillings last year. The authority says it will import 500,000 tons of fertilizer to be distributed to tea farmers at subsidized cost. The government is in the process of overhauling the tea subsector to make it more lucrative.
In the last 12 months, the government has carried out major reforms in the tea subsector aimed at weeding out decades-old cartels that have dominated the industry. The reforms have seen the overhaul of Kenya Tea Development Agency, bringing on board new managers and creating various legal platforms to improve farmers' earnings. KTDA says this has improved the price of green leaf tea from 16 shillings to 21 shillings in the last 6 months.
This move follows a number of reform initiatives by the new KTDA board has instituted to ensure farmers get more money in their pocket. The initiative include the increase of initial monthly pay per kilo of green leaf from 16 shillings to 21 shillings.
The reforms have also brought changes to the electoral system of farmers' representatives, otherwise known as directors, as well as the replacement of marketing rules covering tea. Small-scale tea farmers are the backbone of Kenya's tea subsector, accounting for more than 65% of the country's total tea production, with the other portion produced by multinational companies. KTDA says the reforms that have been instituted are starting to bear fruits, with farmers getting their bonuses on time. The authority plans to import 85,000 tons of fertilizer, which will be distributed to the farmers at a subsidized cost.
The setting up of the minimum reserve price on the auction that has seen the price rise by 53% in the last 4 months. There is importation of 85,000 metric tons of fertilizer to small-scale farmers, and subsequent negotiation and award of 1 billion shilling by the government of Kenya.
These developments come even as Greenland Feather, which is the financial arm of KTDA, plans to start offering loans to smallholder farmers at 8%.
That's all we had lined up for you, but you can find more stories on our website at kbc.co.ke. Coming up next is the Forex market report and also how the shares have been trading at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. My name is Carol Jenga. Have a good night. Serfine will be bringing you the sports updates.
The supervisor of the HR department is giving 24 hours.
In 2 years, we'll be in middle school. What school will he go to? And how much money will you need for that? Have you thought about it?
I pay you $10,000 every month, right? So I don't want to hear buts from you.
$10,000 a month?
$15,000 after probation. Any problem?
But I haven't approved it.
But I have.
有一段故事建筑一座城堡，回放进去后就不再打。
All right, it's time for us to catch the latest in the world of sports. And we've got news for you that the Kenyan Premier will resume this weekend with a total of 7 matches on card. According to the fixtures released by the FKF Caretaker Committee, Kariobangi Sharks will kick off the campaign against Nairobi City Stars on Saturday.
Nairobi City Stars play Kariobangi Sharks in the day's early kickoff at Ruaraka, paving way for the Police Sofapaka clash at the same venue. Thika Stadium will host the Bidco United versus AFC Leopards clash, while Wazito will take on Ulinzi Stars at the Nyayo National Stadium. Nzoia Sugar will face Kakamega Homeboys, while Mathare United will face FC Talanta at Kasarani. On Sunday, KCB will take on Vihiga Bullets at Utalii Grounds. Gor Mahia and Tusker, who have been penciled in to play Posta Rangers and Bandari respectively, are involved in CAF Confederation Cup action on the day. The league was suspended following the disbandment of the Nick Mwendwa-led FKF on Thursday, 11th November 2021 by Sports Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohamed, who appointed a caretaker committee led by Justice Aaron Ringera to run the sport in the country over the next 6 months. FKF President Nick Mwendwa has stepped down as the President of the Football Federation and directed that his Vice President Doris Petra to assume the office. Mwendwa, who is facing corruption allegations, on Tuesday was released on a 10 million shillings bond, and his case will be heard on 20th December this year.
Now, athletes have called for more local lucrative competitions to cater for the increasing number of athletes in the country. Speaking during the final athletes consultative meeting held today in Kapsabet Showground, Nandi County reigning Olympic marathon champion Peres Jepchirchir urged local leaders and other stakeholders to join hands and organize more athletics competitions, as this will help upcoming athletes who can't afford to participate in international events. Jepchirchir's sentiments were echoed by Nandi Governor Stephen Sang, who called on more counties to organize races. Athletics Kenya will retreat to compile reports of their findings from the 15 seminars held across the country in a bid to assist athletes formulate solutions to the emerging issues affecting the welfare of athletes.
Local races inasaidia sana kwa sababu upcoming athletes aweze akaenda kufly direct huko ngambo kucompete.
We have had meetings or the seminars every year to talk to the athletes, to discuss issues that affect them, be it finance, management, and all that was necessary.
Is the need to have our own event as a county. Wasikishi wako na Eldoret City Marathon. Na pia nyinyi mtakumbuka ya kwamba hiyo Eldoret City Marathon, it is now 3 years old.
Now, internationally, Everton will be looking forward to get back to winning ways after a devastating 1-0 defeat away to Brentford on Sunday as they host Liverpool in a Merseyside derby at Goodison Park tonight. Meanwhile, Leeds' controversial injury time sport kick ensured that they registered a 1-0 victory over Crystal Palace.
Is going to step up and take this one right-footed. It's safe, is it? It goes in. It goes in. It goes in. Tim Krul got a big hand to it.
Newcastle United were denied their first win of the season in the league as they were held to a 1-1 draw at home by Norwich City, while Leeds United snatched a 1-0 win over Crystal Palace from a controversial injury time spot kick. In the Italian Serie A, Juventus beat Salernitana 2-0 Fiorentina. Today's fixtures will see 6 matches played in the English Premier League, where Everton will be looking forward to get back to winning ways after a devastating 1-0 defeat away to Brentford on Sunday as they host Liverpool in a Merseyside derby clash at Goodison Park. League leaders Chelsea will travel to take on Watford at Vicarage Road. Southampton will host Leicester City, while West Ham will take on Brighton. 6th placed Wolves will welcome Sean Dyche's Burnley, while Steven Gerrard's on form Aston Villa will host defending champions Manchester City.
Now, the most intense Formula One championship battle in years is set to be decided over the next 2 weekends in the Middle East, with races in Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi set to close the circuit. Verstappen, who leads with 8 points, could take the win if results go his way this weekend in Jeddah, while Hamilton, who has the momentum, heads to the climax of the season with convincing wins, with his performance pitting him as favourite to win both races. Verstappen will mark a start of new generation F1 drivers and an end in Mercedes' 7-year domination. All right, that's how we wrap it up. Thank you so much for creating time for us tonight. My time is up here, but I'll be paving way shortly for those who love the reggae tunes. The rave is coming up next. Don't go too far. My name is Serfine Achieng Oma. My sign language interpreter tonight has been Byron Abuli. Thank you for creating time for us. Have a good night and God bless.
If Pete was sitting next to you right now, what would you say to him?
Our plan is in motion as of tonight.
No, I must fire you.
Are you out of your mind?
You are one strong man. You are feeling okay?
Amen. Where are you right now?
I'm the only person who doesn't want to see your plans going south.
Think about what I just said.
Think about what?
It's none of your business.
Perfecto.
What's perfect?
It's none of your business.
Log on to the KBC website at www.kbc.co.ke to get the latest breaking news, entertainment, sports, politics, lifestyle or business trends from Kenya and around the world. Never miss new episodes from your favorite TV shows, reruns and movies. Just stream online or watch live on your YouTube channel at KBC Channel 1 TV shows. For the day's biggest stories, trustworthy news and family entertainment, log on to KBC Channel 1. Watch what you want anytime, anywhere.
My name is Muhammad Ahmed Muhammad, the CEO of Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation, popularly known as KDIC. The corporation recently increased the protected sum from the previous 100,000 shillings to 500,000 shillings per account. This is the highest in sub-Saharan Africa. In effect, the corporation now covers 99% of the depositors in the unlikely event of a closure of a bank. So KDIC encourages the depositors to continue doing business with our banks that are strong and resilient.
Be sure, check out for a KDIC sticker in your banking hall. KDIC, protecting your deposits.
My name is Dorothy Lowaktuk and I'm a wildlife warrior. Working for elephants is the most special thing and very beautiful.
This is the first community-run elephant orphanage in Africa.
They will not make in life if they are not with their families. We get them and rehabilitate them instead of leaving them to suffer in the wild.
This is Wildlife Warriors, and I'm Paula Kahumbu.
Businessman is leading from behind.
Hii si haki. Kusema kweli nilipaswa kwa nimemaliza masomo siku ya leo.
Na si umalize by the way, nani amekukataza? Na unasinya by the way.
I, Theophilus Atito, from Kisumu City, the land of the great people, I'm vying for the topmost position of this institution.
Atito, you can make me your first lady.
Mr. Man, what is funny?
Nothing, I just wanted to know how it feels to have a trust.
Classmates, every Saturday on KBC,